Alright guys, welcome back to the ALGS channel. Hope you guys are all doing well and having a great day so far. I did upload this morning, but because everything was live and everybody was watching the tournament, it didn't do well, and someone left a great comment to just basically, why don't I just do recaps after the days are over? Now that the day is over, we are here. This is going to be my new schedule format whenever LAN events are going on. So thank you to the person that left that feedback down in the comment section below. NRG was screwed sideways big time by ALGS. Of course, it seems like, I swear I probably have about 4 different titles where NRG was specifically screwed. I don't know if I've ever made as many videos of other organizations getting screwed as much as NRG. Also, a big team to be looking out for. Finally, their player got his visa and he's able to be there, so he will be returning very shortly. Where did all of these players fall into place and fall into line in the group stages after day one? Well, of course, we're here to recap that today. Thank you all for tuning in, and this is awesome. I like this new schedule a lot. Without further ado, folks, let's go ahead and dive right into it. After you like the video, subscribe to the channel. First thing I wanted to make mention of, Dark Zero, basically, and I did have a picture of Timmy as well, where basically Dark Zero and the dojo expect to, not only dojo expecting top 10, Dark Zero expecting top 2, and saying anything outside of top 2 for them is catastrophic, which is insane how high their standard is. But when you look at this team, obviously they have the stats to back it up. They can say that they should be winning this tournament just like they did last year, just like they did a couple of months ago in London as well for ALGS Split 2. So it's going to be interesting to see if that storyline unfolds. Now let's take a look at these scorecards. Day one is officially over. We can now see the top overall, and guess who is in first? It is your boys at TSM. TSM doing an amazing job. Obviously the fan favorites as well. Gotta give my hats off to NRG. NRG did not have like this bright star performance over in the scrims over the last couple of weeks. They did decent, but they have really stepped it up here for the group stage, and they have had a phenomenal showing. At least in the first group, you could see 58 points here. That was really their big one. They even tied with TSM, did 33 in the next one. Not amazing, but obviously amazing enough to be second place. So it was good to see NRG doing very, very good. I'm personally like, I would be so happy if they won, honestly, just because I don't want to like root against the underdog or anything like that. But I feel like when big names win, it really like still encourages everybody to get better. And everybody looks at these GOATs who have been doing this for quite some time and says, you know, I want to be like them. I want to keep getting better. I feel like if you have some no-name team win, it would be really a good underdog story to watch. And of course, it's inspiring. But I just wonder how many people are like, that was anticlimactic. You know what I'm saying? Like, and that's a bad way to look at it. It really is. Personally, I just want to see one of the like known teams that are still an underdog to win, like Oxygen, like Optic Gaming. Now, speaking of Optic Gaming, third place here, doing an amazing job, actually getting first place in their A versus D group. You can see they had the highest score here with 62. What is really just unbelievably blowing your mind is the fact that Dreamfire is in top 7, only playing one group right now. They got 78 points in group A versus B. That was the one that started at 5 a.m. This morning. It was just unbelievable how well those guys were playing. And honestly, a lot of people just don't talk about them as much. I know we all know Rowie, and we all like look at these players and we say, oh, this is the APAC team. And of course, they're like a mid APAC team to some degree. Like, you know, not saying they're not good or anything, but it's usually the Fanatics. It's usually the Pulverexes, the Northeptions, and it's not very often Dreamfire. So I'm just happy to see Dreamfire get some, you know, credit here, because those guys have been grinding their lives away. And so I'm just very happy to see that out of them. We did have some underwhelming performances coming out of Complexity. Of course, Kick contesting TSM, and no one is really surprised by that. We did see obviously 100 Thieves, but you know, you can't really like take it too seriously yet, because some of these groups have only played once. So you could see obviously 100 Thieves only played one time. So some of these points are factored in with 2 group stages played. Some of these are only 1. So the flip-flop of this tomorrow will be that TSM will only play 1 time tomorrow, as where 100 Thieves will play twice. So really tomorrow is when you can look at the group stage and you'll know where these people are going. Are they going to the winners bracket? Are they going to the losers bracket? And that's where the big ones happen. Now, another one, just as we move on, SAF, this is a South American team, actually 23rd. I know it doesn't look incredible, but 42 points. I think they finished 5th in their group, which is just so unheard of. South America really stepped it up in their first group stage, which I was happy to see. And I'm honestly, you know, that's one of those things where those guys get mistreated a lot. And to what I've heard, there might not even be a South American region next year. And I just hate that for them, man. I really would love to see them continue to show up. Now, let's talk about some changes going on in this ALGS scene. Some of the roster changes you are going to see live in the game. This is crazy. I don't think I've ever seen this. So Aurora basically has announced that they had 2 substitutes playing for them. One was going to to be Tax and one was going to be Uxico. I don't know if I pronounced that right or not, but I think I did good enough. Anyways, this was in place of Taskmaster and 9 Impulse. The problem with this is former Firebeavers, you guys know. 9 Impulse did not get to play at Split 1 playoffs for the same exact reason, because of the no visa. Well, I did see a Reddit post earlier that 9 Impulse was actually taking a selfie with someone on his team as well, which I think was OJ Rain, and it looks like he was basically in Birmingham, which was crazy because I haven't seen an official tweet coming out of him or anything, but a lot of people are saying he is in Birmingham and that he will be playing with this roster pretty soon. We'll see if that actually happens, but there is one more that is guaranteed, and that is Mr. Effect. Obviously, Mandy played with Alliance today. They did get a win in one of their games, however, wasn't the best showing, and they did not have that controller fragger pizzazz coming out of Effect, and everybody obviously was very excited, even Imperial How, you know, all the competition. It's all this mutual respect, right? Of course, like, you know, TSM's probably happy to some degree. Alliance, you know, oh, you know, we have a team that's pretty good, that's going to be less good because they don't have their fragger who's a beast on controller, but to the same degree, they want him to be there. You know, they all want everybody's best showing possible. It's all this mutual respect, and I'm glad that Effect finally got his visa and he is on his way to play in the UK right now. So he should, fingers crossed, be playing tomorrow in place of Mandy. Good stuff to see, and we're very excited for that. One thing we're not excited for at all were the big crashes that happened in the game. And when I say crashes, some were quote pauses, and we're going to talk about that today because we got some information from the inside, the actual EA Apex Legends tournament host people that gave us some insight as to what's going on behind this. And it's a joke, if I'm being completely honest, and it was a little embarrassing to watch as well. So first thing I wanted to make mention of, Phony here saying that esport is a joke. This is kind of sad. You know, your own pro players playing at the tournament right there. By the way, he tweeted this out while he was playing, so he had his phone with him, I guess, or either went to the back room, went in the middle of his game and literally went and tweeted this because that's how bad it is. This esport is a joke, he says, and the competitive integrity is horrible. No way half of the servers are crashing, and I kid you not, I saw so many crashes and so many pauses this game. Thornton Smash, obviously the manager over there at Oxygen Esports, was not too happy because he says that was their first good zone that Oxygen had, and of course it crashes. Fix your servers, EA and Respawn. This crash just cost us a redemption shot because of the literal billions made on cosmetics. Can't go to fix the game. Very well said. Now, this is what was happening. This is why it was happening. Okay, so before the recent crash, we also had pauses. Now, what in the world happened with these pauses? As you can see right here, it literally was at an end game of 5 squads left. And if you take a look on screen now, you can see Alberlelli showed this clip. This is not a picture taken like literally as it was happening live. This was what the pause looked like. You can see Zainu over here on the left is not even playing. He has no hands on his controller because this is literally paused right here. They paused the game, 5 squads left, final round closing, Catwall's up, Jin Burton's about to fry this catalyst right here. They paused the game. Why? Well, they say is apparently because Complexity apparently had a PC crash, and because the production team was watching this PC crash, it, like, you know, made the command center go black. Therefore, the production didn't, you know, they didn't want to show the black screen on the end game. So what happened was they pause the game, they fix it, they restart the game, and the game finishes, right? You know, to some degree, I don't mind it if it's literally going to help players get the opportunity that they deserve and everybody can reset. Now, to be fair, there's a big chat box over on the left side that says admin is starting the game in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So it's not like these guys are taken off guard like, oh my gosh, I didn't know we were starting back, I got shot. They all are aware of it, and that is fair play to them. However, these teams and IGLs have like 3-4 minutes to decide how else can we play this situation, because, you know, the whole thing about Battle Royale is making live quick decisions, doing things fast, getting to a point really quickly, and now you have 3 minutes to think about. So we actually got some more insight into this. So of course Alberlelli was not happy with this, and he goes on to say in response to RKN says he cannot stand this community. We cry whenever there's no solution for PC problems. Then whenever they pause the stuff, people still cry. You go on and on and on. But Alberlelli said, look, bro, Jin had literally a guy in his face mid spray and then they pause. Obviously that's not cool at all. Well, he goes on to continue to say in his own tweet, so we're just pausing in the middle of top 5 endgame, completely removing all the pressure. Imperial How responded and said there's technically a rule that doesn't allow these players to talk, but basically not everybody abides by that. And unfortunately, you have teams that are still conversating despite an apparent rule that says you're not allowed to. Albert Lely responds, let's be honest, you and Zero, despite if you're not even, breaking the rules here, you and Zero or Sweet having extra time to breathe and decompress and gather your thoughts is more than enough for you to be able to quickly get your team onto the train of thought as soon as the unpause happens. Imperial How responded, says, yes, but what's worse than that? Or someone crashing at an end game and losing because of it. Not sure the most optimal right way of doing this. Albert Lely says, I mean, there's no great solution, but there should at least be some consistency. Sweet actually crashed ring 1 in game 2 and died for it, and they don't unpause, or they don't pause the game for him, but yet they pause in ring 6 for someone else. It doesn't make sense. How obviously says, I agree, but we just don't know what actually could be done. Do the refs just not understand what is exactly going on here? Well, we do have this whole Sweet fiasco. We have the clip. We know exactly what happens. This comes from Sore Loki Ross that goes on a full essay, and you may look at this video, and I'm going to show you the video in just a second. Now, before you see this and you say, oh, it's not that big of a deal, it got back in within 30 seconds or so. If you're a zone team, I saw a lot of comments right here, and it was perfect. It made perfect sense. If you're a team that is a zone team, obviously, if you guys watch ALGS, you might know what a zone team and an edge team is. But if you don't, a zone team is a team that lands more central of the map so that they can play the zone a little bit more rather than rotating a lot. So they try to get basically the zone quick. They try to loot quick. They try to get set up quick and gatekeep the teams out. That's the whole idea of being a zone team, theoretically. Now, if you don't have the opportunity to loot quick, it's detrimental. It is horrible. It really sets you back massively because you can't prepare the way that you want to. You can't rotate as early as you want to. And when we're talking about these teams rotating quick, I'm not talking about like, oh, 30 seconds, whatever. These guys are probably behind us anyways. These guys have it down to a T. They have loot paths. They all land at a specific spot so that they can juice the POI for loot, and literally in its most maximum least amount of time. Like, I'm telling you, like, they don't just land at a POI like you might be used to landing. They land so strategically that every second counts in this game. And the fact that you're ripped away of that is unfortunate. Sweet Dreams is asking for a pause and he's not getting it. And we have the answer as to why this may have happened. But first, roll the clip.
They just like pretty focused. Are they like clowns or like?
My game just crashed. Pause the game. Pause. Are they gonna pause or what?
Well,
I'm just gonna craft here, I guess, while we wait for you. My game's crashed. Pause. Use the system. I'm gonna try and punch Sweet, okay? I'm in. Oh, you're in? Oh, I have one.
they just like.
So you can see that he does come back in the game before too long, but like 30 seconds lost in this loot path, obviously things don't work out. Now you could also see that Albert Lely says he got killed for it eventually, of course. So like every second literally counts, and the fact that you hear him saying, I'm froze, I'm crashed, please pause, and yet it happened for Complexity and they get the reset. It happened for some other teams and they get the reset, but it doesn't happen for NRG. Why? It doesn't happen for Optic Gaming and Split 2. Why are we picking and choosing which games and which teams we want to pause for and which teams we don't want to pause for? Now, I really don't think, I'm not accusing ALGS staff of playing favorites here. I'm just saying that there are some inconsistencies. There was a conversation as to what actually merits a pause. And so Zero Plus, one of the old Apex Legends #1 Preds, shows that it was honestly a massive L from EA, showing that sometimes they can pause, sometimes they don't. So if you just crash and hope the admins feel like pausing, basically you just get blessed. Now, 100 Thieves player Scory basically says that the only pause for production, they only pause for production in themselves in the broadcast, not for the player related issues. So I was basically commenting on this and says it doesn't make any sense at all, because if that was the case, how did Complexity just coincidentally crash right whenever the production had a problem? Well, Zach Conley actually comes out and says that is not true. If you guys don't know Zach, he is the esports league ops manager over there, and he basically says that that was false information. 100 Thieves player says that is what I was told. Zach responds though saying that's odd because we shared an update with all the pro players in Champs Discord regarding our pausing policy before the event began. So it's like almost a call out. And then obviously, you know, all props to Scurry though. He says sorry for the misinformation and he does apologize. So That is false information. If you have heard that they only pause for production, it is not true. They are pausing for player issues, but what merits a pause for complexity and not NRG? Well, only people are speculating at this point that NRG was simply screwed over. It's tough to see, and obviously people are not happy with that. Hopefully we get some more transparency. I don't think people are really aggravated at the pause, like, you know, RKN suggested that, you know, we just cry on each side. I think we just want consistency. Either pause for everybody or don't pause for anybody at all. There's just thousands and thousands of dollars on the line. And if you actually go back and look at it, we did a video on Optic Gaming crashing in Split 2. This was $1,000, no, not thousand. This was thousands of dollars of a mistake that was made. Because if you go back and take away that point that I think XSET got the point for, or FaZe got the point for, it would have actually put them in a different placement in the end finals, and they would have lost thousands of dollars in their prize pool. It's just really embarrassing. And what's also embarrassing is having thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of people watching this, you know, whole stream, and literally nothing is being done. We're just all watching it crash live. It's embarrassing. I'll just be honest. It is embarrassing. It's like watching, you know, like a little league, you know, game of t-ball or something, and they keep having to reset. Eventually the parents just get like aggravated, and we're like, come on, you know, just take my kid out of the game. I don't want to play this. You know, if you guys can't ref the game right, just get it over with at this point. Like, I'm not going to play in this league anymore. And I just wonder, how often are people going to put up with this? How many pros are going to say at the end of champs that this game is just not good? It's not going in the right direction, that they're not happy with the esports scene of this game, and they might retire. Of course, there will be some roster changes after champs is over. There will be some people retiring, I'm imagining. So make sure to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you guys want to stay up to date, all things Apex Legends esports related. This has been day one recap of ALGS champs. We will be back tomorrow and watch partying live right here on the channel if you guys want to watch. And of course, right after it's all over, a video will be out of day two recap, and we'll see you all in the next one. Take care of yourselves. This is Viber Die, only positivity, and until the next time, I'll see you all later, Gators.